Penguins ist immer nice. This man is pure evil.
I went over to my family's house for dinner a couple nights ago, and my father was raving and couldn't stop talking about a case I'd never heard of that apparently is just wrapped up. The Alex Murdaugh murder case. And in fact, it extends beyond that. The entire Murdaugh family
Ja, in 1, 2 Jahren kannst du es wahrscheinlich spielen. Mal gucken, wie es läuft, ne?
murders. This is a very high profile case that I just hadn't heard of until my father started lecturing me on it, like I had just taken a
Aber ich muss sagen, ich kann auch damit leben. Ich kann auch einfach nochmal Bioshock runterladen und einfach die True-Form, weißt du, mir reinziehen.
criminology course. He apparently followed every single piece of evidence that dropped. He watched every trial, everything. My dad studied the tits off of this case like he was going there to prosecute Alex Murdaugh himself. And it piqued my interest. It made me want to learn more about it. So I went to the best goddamn channel on YouTube for things like this, Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle recently made a full, beautiful breakdown going over every single piece of evidence and every single key point in the entire Murdaugh history. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description, but I just kind of wanted to share it with all of you because this is one of the more deep and disturbing cases I've learned about in quite a while. So I just wanted to share kind of the gist of it with all of you, but I highly recommend watching Legal Eagle's video on it if you want to learn the most about it and see how everything unfolded. You see the Murdaugh murders. So my dad just told me about that. I didn't know anything about it. And he was apparently embezzling money for a long time, a pathological liar, an oxy addict, and he snapped and killed his son and wife. My dad was telling me all about it, apparently. Or, not apparently, my dad was telling me all about it. Apparently, it was a wild case, and I didn't hear shit about it. Yeah, apparently the prosecutors had a video that the son had recorded that proved that Alex Murdaugh was lying about his whereabouts on the night of the murders. So I guess the story was they were killed at like the dog kennels on their property. Alex Murdaugh claimed that he wasn't there that night at the kennels, and he had like a couple alibis because they had his whole phone record. Apparently he called a ton of people to try and get a couple alibis. And eventually the prosecutors showed a video that his son had recorded literally minutes before he was murdered. His son he killed also got in a boat accident that killed a girl named Mallory Beach, and also was the only witness to his housekeeper dying, and he embezzled her life insurance. Oh, what the fuck?
Close. Los Angeles area double murder expert O.J. Simpson predicted that the Alec Murdaugh jury would acquit the Low Country lawyer of double murder. It turns out that Simpson's powers of prognostication don't really work for murders he wasn't directly involved in.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least if this guy beats this case.
So before I explain...
It's crazy. It is crazy. We have O.J. Simpson on...
Der O.J. Simpson Case, der ist auch so fucking weird. Das ist so weird, wie jemand davonkommt und jetzt einfach auf der Couch sitzt und bei Twitter seine Meinung sagt. Das ist so weird, Alter.
On Twitter, dropping reaction videos, giving his opinion on how another murderer could
Ja, wie ein anderer Mörder, ob er verurteilt wird oder davonkommt wie er.
potentially beat their case. That blows my mind.
Randolph Murdaugh Sr. was elected solicitor in 1920 and served until he was killed by a freight train in 1940.
Sounds like a murder. That sounds like an actual old western murder where they tied him to the train tracks. Don't know the situation, it literally just sounds like he was murdered.
Now, some people suspected that the freight train incident was a suicide because no one could figure out why Randolph's car stalled on the tracks. But Murdaugh Sr. was succeeded by his son, Randolph Murdaugh Jr., known as Buster, who held the position for 46 years from
Buster.
1942. On two separate occasions, 20 years apart, he told jurors that if they didn't impose the death penalty on a criminal defendant, he would use his power as solicitor to release other rapists into the community. Yes. You heard that right.
What?
It's hard to imagine the worst thing a prosecutor could say in court, but I'm sure prosecutors have.
Amerika.
And he
Ich
got to
lass
keep the
Vergewaltiger
position?
frei.
He would make these threats like, okay, if he doesn't get the death penalty, 5 rapists will go into Gotham. He sounds like the Joker. What? Elected official, so he just campaigns and pays off the right people. Yeah, but I'm sure there's still systems in place where if you're threatening to release rapists out of like a grudge, you can get fired. Like you can get like taken out.
You can get fired.
Like you lose your position.
Oh,
I
Mann.
would think. Because it was the 70s. It's not like rape was cool in the 70s either. I'm sure people weren't like rallying behind him like, yeah, that's fucking Buster right there. That's how Buster plays. Give the death penalty. Or 50 rapists. Buster, release 50 rapists into the neighborhood. The guy really had rapists in the queue to join the server. Oh, you're talking about Buster still.
He had rapist in the queue to join the server.
Yeah. I'm just going to take a guess that the other Murdochs didn't use the same tactic.
Alex Murdaugh, the now convicted murderer, is Randolph III's son.
All of this information is to show you that the entire Murdaugh line is fucking evil, basically. Now that you're brought up to speed on where Alex Murdaugh comes from, let's talk about his kids, because his kids are no saints. Legal Eagle goes into more detail surrounding some of these cases, but I'd just like to give you a quick breakdown. If you want more information, obviously watch his video on it. But one of Alex's sons, Buster, who is named after, of course, Buster Murdaugh, who came before him, is actually a person of interest in a 2015 death. A young man named Stephen Smith was found dumped on a Hampton County road. There wasn't a whole lot of indicators to suggest that this was a vehicle crash, and in fact was even ruled a homicide by a couple of people, most notably the county coroner. And interestingly, Buster Murdaugh is mentioned dozens of times in the investigation. Also, Alex Murdaugh and his brother Randy visited the crime scene, passing through the crime scene tape. And there were rumors that Buster Murdaugh and Stephen Smith were in some kind of relationship, and this case actually just got reopened after the entire Alex Murdaugh investigation. So that's all a bit peculiar. That doesn't seem good. Something smells very fishy over there.
Ganz
with
normales
Buster
Verhalten.
Murdaugh.
Ganz normales Verhalten, sich einen Tatort anzusehen. Ganz normal, vor allem von Brüdern.
And he's not the
Oh ne, waren es keine Brüder, ne? War eine Partnerschaft. Oder ist es Sweet Home Alabama Style?
only one. In fact, Alex Murdaugh's other son, Paul. In 2019, Paul and his friends were partying on a boat. At one point, his friends say Paul and his girlfriend got in an argument where Paul assaulted her, and then eventually the night culminated with the boat crashing, everyone surviving except one person, Mallory Beach. Paul was blamed for the death because he was fucking driving the boat. He received 2 charges, 1 boating under the influence causing great bodily harm, and 1 boating under the influence causing death. So as you can see, the Murdaugh family is known for more than just financial crimes. There's a lot of death linked to the family as well. And there's still more. There's still one that I haven't even talked about, one that happened before Alex.
Andere machen sich immer Gedanken darüber, ob die Kinder das Unternehmen übernehmen können, Alter. Und die ziehen das knallhart durch, die ganze Familie.
Murdaugh killed his son and wife. In 2018, their housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, allegedly tripped over one of their dogs and fell down the stairs and died at their hunting lodge. Alex Murdaugh then instructed Gloria Satterfield's sons to sue him for insurance money. However, he neglected to inform them that he had already collected on 2 settlements and basically robbed them of about $4.3 million from the insurance here. The man is just pure evil, just a shriveled, pruny, fucking ghost-looking motherfucker whose entire bloodline seems cursed and is nothing but bad news. It is disgusting.
His lawyer said he planned to sue
Seems
Alex and Mallory
cursed.
personally because they allegedly kept a beer refrigerator at the hunting lodge and underage kids were free to drink up. Given the scale of Alex's financial crimes, discovery of his assets would have revealed years of Murdaugh's criminality. Later that same night, Alex allegedly found Paul and Maggie dead outside the kennels at the Murdaugh's sprawling hunting estate.
I'm really trying to break this down into the most concise form possible just to convey like the general story of the situation, but again, I can't recommend checking out Legal Eagle's full video on it for the absolute best breakdown. In a nutshell, years and years and millions upon millions of dollars of stolen money and financial crimes were about to be brought to light, all of which Alex Murdaugh was panicked about. So the main theory behind his motive for killing Paul and his wife Maggie is he needed some way of buying time to weasel his way out of this situation. I shit you not. The murder of his son Paul and wife Maggie, right now the leading theory is he did it for sympathy, to portray himself as a victim, and to basically just buy himself some extra time to get out of the situation because all of these financial crimes that have built up over years.
Wegen den Financial Crimes, wegen den, sagt man, Kapitalverbrechen, seinen Sohn und die Frau umbringen, um Sympathie zu bekommen. Alter, das ist so eine neue oder so eine hochgradige Art von Boshaftigkeit. Das ist insane.
Were about to be fucking blasted publicly. All of it was going to come to light. So that was his plan. Now, Paul was murdered before he ever stood trial for the death of Mallory Beach. But I'm getting a little ahead of the story because there was one other baffling situation that occurred involving a hired hitman that Alex himself hired to shoot and kill him so his other son could get his insurance money.
So Alex admitted to stealing from Chris and blamed his behavior on an opioid addiction. And then hours later, that same day after that conversation with Chris, Alex was shot in the head. Yes.
Holy shit.
Seriously. Does this seem
Yep.
like a far-fetched Netflix series yet?
So now we're at the part that I know. Everything that preceded this, fucking wild. No clue. But now we're getting into the part that my dad was talking about, and now I'm kind of in the know on where all this goes. Chat just educated me about this, so I have the spoilers here. But I guess I won't drop the spoilers. But I see now what has happened and how things have got to this point.
Yes, but I mean, I'm okay.
Alex later admitted that he hired his cousin Eddie to shoot him.
Yep.
So Alex's remaining son Buster could
get the
collect
life
on a
insurance.
$10 million life
Alter.
insurance policy.
Was ist, also, gibt's da eine Netflix-Serie oder war das ein Joke? Will ich sehen, Alter.
That occurred involving his other
From Chris and blamed his behavior on an opioid addiction. And then hours later, that same day after, yes, seriously. Does this seem like a far-fetched
Murdoch Murders. Okay, nice.
Netflix series yet?
So now we're at the part that I know. Everything that preceded this, fucking wild. No clue. But now we're getting into the part that my dad was talking about, and now I'm kind of in the know on where all this goes. Chat just educated me about this, so I have the spoilers here. But I guess I won't drop the spoilers. But I see now
Danke, Charlie.
what has happened and how things have got to this point.
Yes, but I mean, I'm okay.
Remaining son Buster
Could get the life
collect on a
insurance.
$10 million life insurance policy. But apparently, cousin Eddie wasn't up to the job because the gunshot
picture,
wound was
National
just a blaze
Lampoon.
that temporarily blinded Alex. Eddie would also turn out to be Alex's
the fuck?
oxycodone dealer. Alex later admitted that
What
he
the
stole from his law partners and clients to fund his addiction to painkillers. According to
Hold on, then my dad's calling me about the Murdoch shit that I just sent him with this. Hold on. Yeah, well, did you even know about all of the Murdoch shit with his family? Like how his son is most likely responsible
geil
for
das
deaths
ist.
as well?
Yes.
You
And his son that, like, was in the boat accident.
yeah, the boat.
Yeah, the whole deal. I mean, yeah, I know all the background of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then how he tried to set up, like, his own...
Yeah, cause I just got to that point. Cousin Eddie to like a hitman to shoot him for the life insurance policy for Buster.
Yeah, and then they fucked that whole thing up.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew any of that because you didn't mention it. That shit's crazy.
Ist das sweet.
That's why I haven't been playing any games. I got so into this shit. I'm like, I can't stop. It's like, see, that's why I said this is 10 times better than the goddamn O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely wild. I had no idea it was like so deep reaching.
I know. See, that's what I'm telling you. So you think it's pretty cool, right?
Well, cool is like probably a weird word to use for it, but like it's fascinating. Like it feels like it's some kind of crazy movie. Yeah, he's really into the whole Murdoch shit.
Der war richtig hyped.
We got like encyclopedic knowledge on this whole thing apparently. He didn't even mention the family stuff, so I thought that'd be news to him. Yeah, no, this whole family's rotten. Although I haven't heard anything about the mother, so maybe she didn't do anything terrible. I have no idea.
Sie ist der Kopf der ganzen
Real
Sache.
quick though, was his plan actually to die? Like, did Alex Murdaugh hire cousin Eddie, goofball McGee, red-blooded patriot, fucking wild maniac to come shoot him and kill him? That's wild. So his plan was actually to die. He said, "Come shoot me in the head," and then he survived. He's like, "Damn it, time to change plan." Wow. Hey, a lot of things can be said about Alex Murdaugh, but God damn it, he gave it 110%. This man was ready to literally kill himself so that way his son could still have some fucking cheated funds. $10 million life insurance policy.
Easy. Geil.
The drug dealer. The trial's biggest bombshell was an unsent Snapchat
Yes,
video
this is the one that
recovered
my
from
dad was
Paul
talking
Stone.
about.
Alex told police he had last seen his son and wife 90 minutes before he found their bodies. Several witnesses testified that they could hear Alex's voice in the background of the video.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Did the Snapchat video influence Alex's decision to testify on his own behalf? Almost certainly yes. The very first
Well,
thing
yeah, and I think that is very clearly his voice in the Snapchat video. Very clearly.
Alex did on the witness stand was fess up that he lied about being at the kennels. Alex admitted it was his voice on the video.
Were you in fact at the kennels at 8:44 p.m. on the night Maggie and Paul were murdered?
I was.
Did you?
So then he absolutely just admits to a lie right there. I do want to point out, this man's got some wild hair coloration here. This looks like a weird slider in a Dark Souls creator. He looks
Ja, aber ich werde auch an den Seiten grau.
like a French fry with like some cheese sauce on the top. That shit is going hard.
You lied to SLED Agent Owen and Deputy Laura Rutland on the night of June 7th.
I did lie to them. And I'm so sorry that I did.
Other than lying to them about going to the kennel, I was very
Holy
cooperative
shit.
in every aspect of this investigation. When Alex's brother Randy overheard Alex trying to bribe a nurse to let him use her phone, he thought it was suspicious. And brother Randy called the police and the story began to unravel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
SLED sketch artist and
Diese
spent
Puppenaugen.
Man, this guy just straight up looks evil.
Ja.
He looks
Ja.
actually soulless. Those are some
Wie er aussieht. Alter, stell mal vor, nee, das sind so Augen, die so ein Gemälde im Horrorfilm haben, die dich verfolgen, Alter.
hollow, empty devil eyes right there. 100%. Sometimes people just look the part.
But in an earlier interview with investigators, Alex had actually implicated his groundskeeper. He also told the jury that someone angry about the death of Mallory Beach committed the murders. These inconsistencies undermined Alex's credibility. Then there's the mess with Alex's financial crimes. The prosecution argued that Alex's financial crimes couldn't be separated from the murders because exposure of his vast financial crimes was one of the
it
motives
speaks to his
for killing
characters.
Maggie and Paul.
Well, not only that, I imagine that also helps to demonstrate, like, make a character profile, right? I don't know if that is actually something that's usable in court, but doesn't that also serve to poke holes in the credibility since all of these financial crimes hinged on a bunch of lies and embezzlement and all of that? Or is that not allowed?
Every single one of these, you had to sit down and look someone in the eye and convince them that you were on their side when you were not.
Wow, that's
correct?
hardball.
do you remember it, even one of them?
if you ask me questions, but I can't remember sitting down with Dion.
Alex's response? What I admit is I misled them. I did wrong, and that I stole their money. What Prosecutor Waters was getting at was this. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Alex Murdaugh is sitting there and looking at you and trying to convince you of something, but you shouldn't believe him. Just look at how he lied in the past.
That's
Moreover,
strong
Alex
as fuck.
testified that all of his financial bad deeds were caused by his drug habit, which was costing him as much as $60,000 a week.
Wie viel Drogen kann man sich ballern? Um 60.000 in der Woche auszugeben. Kann mir das bitte mal jemand erklären, wie man 60.000 Dollar im Monat, in der Woche für sich selber für Drogen ausgeben kann? Was nimmst du denn? Ich brauche alles mit Blattgold. Kann ich dir dann Ted Bundy sein, ja.
As for the weapons, prosecutors said casings for bullets from a
Holy
300
shit.
blackout rifle were found near Maggie's body. And the Murdaughs owned a rifle chambered in 300 blackout, and the weapon is now missing. Alex also couldn't account for the clothing he was wearing on the day of the murders. His clothes had never been found. His mother's caregiver testified that after the murders, Alex tried to remind her about what he was wearing.
I guess it's easy in hindsight, but I feel like even if I was in the court as this was unfolding, the second it came to that point, both of those in conjunction, I'd be like, well, he fucking did it.
Yes.
What kind of coincidence is that? Oh, so they were killed with 300 blackout rounds. Oh, you have a weapon with 300 blackout. That's a weird coincidence. Can you bring it in so we can just make sure like everything's, all good? Oh, it's missing. Well, what happened to it? Oh, you don't know. Oh. Okay, well, what about your clothes? Can we, like the clothes you were wearing on that night, maybe they picked up some forensic evidence from the real killers. Oh, you lost your clothes. Are you telling me a burglar came in the middle of the night while you were sleeping and took the fucking clothes off your back? Even your dirty goddamn undies, he took them? Oh. Like, what the fuck? This is outrageous.
The speed of the jury's verdict, just 3 hours of deliberation
Oh,
after
nice.
a trial lasting a month and a half,
That's a gold split.
speaks volumes.
Yeah.
The day after the verdict was read, Alex Murdaugh was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences for murdering his wife and son.
Seine Frau und sein Sohn. Ah.